Mike, what prompted you to run for this position?
Um, Pretty much the same things as what other people have said. I have 3 daughters in the school system. That's my main driving force behind this. My daughters have done a lot of great things in Gearing. They love being at Guile Elementary. But we've also seen some things that have affected them negatively. And, you know, like other people have said, instead of complaining about something, step up to the plate and do something about it. I have a way of seeing things from both sides to where I can be partial and objective if I need to be. And I think that's something that the school board needs is people that can see things from both sides and be able to judge fairly and look at things in a fair manner.
Thank you. Mike, what is your philosophy when it comes to parental involvement in the development of curricula and other issues affecting their child's education?
Well, I think Greg said it best, actually. I don't know really how to improve upon that, but yes, like he said, parents should be involved in that, because if the children aren't willing to learn a certain subject until the parents take an active role in that and make it exciting for them and make them want to learn something more, you know, the kids aren't going to thrive in that. I think my children do a lot better when I actually explain concepts to them with science or math or other things and get them excited with it. So, yeah, I do believe that parent involvement is very important.
Mike, what other areas, career pathways would you like to see developed?
I'm going to agree with Rick on this one as well. Tradespeople are very needed, essential roles within our communities. And, you know, maybe getting kids more involved into understanding that without going to college and going into a trade, you know, you're not going into massive student debt. That's a big issue right now. You know, you can go into a trade and be able to learn your trade while making money. I think that's a great opportunity for a lot of people that maybe don't want to go to college right away. So something that, a focus on that, I think, would be something that we should bring back into the school systems. You know, because it is a needed role and it is a great way to learn a lot of different things and still live and serve a community.
Thank you. Gearing Public Schools has partnered with Scottsbluff Schools in a number of areas, some extracurricular activities, like notably the swim team. How much farther should collaboration go, and would you ever consider an instance to consolidate the districts?
Collaboration with certain things, yes. For special sports needs, maybe having certain amount of kids from multiple schools competing together in one team, that would make sense. As far as consolidating the school districts, I don't believe that's a good idea at all. When you have, say you take a classroom of 15 kids, and you have 2 of those classrooms, 5th grade classrooms, you all of a sudden put those 2 classrooms together, you've got 30 kids and 1 teacher. That teacher is no longer able to focus more individual time on each student because that teacher has to focus on 30 students instead of 15. Consolidation of school districts, if it comes purely down to money, that's not what education is about. It's not about the dollars and cents. It's about teaching your children how to be a productive member of society, teaching them what they need to know. There's already some kids that struggle with learning certain subjects because classroom sizes. So consolidating, making classroom sizes even bigger, just to save some dollars, I don't believe is a good idea.
The district has had to secure a line of credit with a local financial institution to protect district cash flows. What do you believe the district needs to do to stabilize funding, especially when state aid fluctuates year to year?
I agree with what Greg said. You know, getting into a line of credit with the bank may not be the end of it all, you know, but being responsible with the dollars that we do have and being responsible in how we spend those dollars, I think is the best way to do it. Also getting some more parent involvement. I know we all have kids that come home and they're doing a fundraiser thing for special things. And the parents are always kind of, oh, not this again, you know. But I think if the parents really got involved and we put together a bigger group of parents that were willing to do a bigger fundraising type of campaign for the kids to maybe alleviate some of those budget needs, I think that might be a good thing.
Thank you. What do you believe the board's stance should be when it comes to the proper age to begin sex education, and when should controversial subjects of gender identity and fluidity be introduced?
I kind of agree with Greg on this one as well. That is a difficult question. When should we start teaching this to children of a certain age? It's difficult because all children develop differently. There are some children that develop earlier than others. So to put a blanket statement over this and say, what age should we start talking about this? What grade should we start talking about this? That makes it very difficult for not only the school, but for the parents, because then the parents have to talk to their children about certain things that the kids have no idea about. Oh, we learned about this in school today, and then the parents are hit with something that, they weren't prepared to talk about with their children at that young of an age. There's no wrong or right answer to this. You can't put something like this on a specific age or a specific grade because children develop at different ages. And again, with gender identities and that type of things, this can be a very confusing subject for children at too young of an age.
Thank you. We'll move on to our next question. Mike, I think we're to you. It was brought up in one of the letters, the grade scale at the high school has been much more rigorous than other schools in the past, which some have said hurts graduating seniors moving on to post-secondary education. Do you think the scale should be that rigorous, or should it conform more closely to post-secondary grade scales, and why do you feel that way?
It should conform to more post-secondary scales, just because it's confusing for a kid, when they go through a high school and they have a different grading scale than other schools, and then they get into college and all of a sudden there's a different grading scale. That creates a little bit of unneeded confusion to a kid that's already moving out of home and going to college and learning new things and learning to live on their own and just facing the world in a different way. I think we should have it standardized towards more college and university scales.
Mike, if you're elected at the end of a four-year term, how would you define success?
Success in my eyes would be that the kids that go to school in Gary Public Schools, like Greg said, stay excited all the way from the elementary up through high school. That the kids are learning more, they're learning better, because ultimately this is all about the children. I'd also define success as more parent involvement with the school district, where parents are just as excited about school as their kids are. And, ultimately, the success of the schools is the success of the children.
Okay, we will give each of you 1 minute for closing statements.
So the reason I decided to do this was, much like Greg, I have 3 children, young children in the school system. I love seeing my daughters learn. I love seeing how excited they get about school. I love seeing that they love being at Guile Elementary specifically. I love seeing that in my children, and I really want to see that in everybody's children. I really want to see that Gary Public Schools continues to be a great school for kids to go to. And I really want to see Gary achieve more and offer more for kids. I also would like to really see parents get involved more with the schools. Because when parents are there with the kids, they see the kids see their parents there. The kids get even more excited about that. And I think that's a great thing.
I'd like to thank all of our candidates running for Gearing Public Schools Board of Education for participating in tonight's forum. Greg, Brian, John, Krista, Rick, Mike, Gloria, Brandon, Colleen, thank you all for being here. We hope you at home, this helps you in deciding who you wish to vote for. As a reminder, in the May 10th primary election, you'll be allowed to vote for 3 candidates. The top 6 vote getters in the primary election will advance to the November general election. This candidates forum is one of several being presented by the Government Affairs Committee of the Scottsbluff-Gearing United Chamber of Commerce. We again would like to thank the Rural Radio Scottsbluff staff for recording this forum so you can view it, the timers, students from Gearing Public Schools for volunteering, the Chamber staff, and the Gearing Civic Center for hosting us this evening. On behalf of the Scottsbluff-Gearing United Chamber of Commerce Government Affairs Committee, and for my co-chair, Don Wolf, I'm Bill Boyer. Thank you for joining us, and remember, get out and vote.